or recipe. I've mentioned this before, but I had a huge issue as a child. It was about potato salad. It was about my mother's potato salad and my grandmother's, my father's mother's potato salad. And what I knew was quite the feud between the two of them about which potato salad I liked the best. So I ate a lot of potato salad. At all the family gatherings, my mother and Nanny always brought potato salad. And there I was with both potato salads on my plate. Now, I like potato salad. It wasn't like it was, liver and onions, which I've tried really hard to. You can tell me all the ways that I'm going to make it, that I'm going to like it. I don't. I like potato salad. It wasn't until my mother passed that I could confess that I liked my grandmother's more than my mother's. I figured Dot Rousey still heard about it, but she was a little more forgiving by then. Back in somewhere in the late 80s, I was in Ocean City, Maryland with my friend Judy and her 2 kids and her parents and some other siblings in this gigantic family, and my friend Bobby Smith. And the group went out to dinner every night. Buck, patriarch of the family, took everyone out to dinner every night. And Bobby and I had been fortunate to join the family on many dinners, and we said, would you let us cook dinner for you? And Buck said yes, and this again was in the 80s, and he reached in his pocket and pulled out, wait, I'm having shirt issues. Reached in, it's hard up here, guys. Reached in his pocket and pulled out, I don't know, $400 or $500 bills and handed them to us, and off we went to the seafood store. Oh, man. We bought lobster, we bought shrimp, we bought scallops, we bought the freshest fish we could find. We got veggies to go along with it. We came back, we cooked all day long. And all along the way, Bobby and I would go, Bobby, taste this. Oh, delicious. RL, try this. Oh, wow, what did you do? That's marvelous. Down to about 5 minutes before dinner was ready to go. And I looked over, and Bobby was salting the scallops fra diavolo. I had just salted the scallops fra diavolo. And I thought, Bobby, what are you doing? And he went, needed salt. I went, I just salted it. And I tasted it, and I thought it was disgustingly too salty. Well, I guess we just won't be serving that, say I. Bobby says, what do you mean? It is perfection. Well, in that last 5 minutes before dinner was served, Bobby and I could barely speak to one another. We carried all of these dishes we'd been cooking all day. We dropped them on the table and said, I hope there's something to eat. We made up about 6 months later, and we've been friends ever since. But you got to know your recipe. You have to know what you need to be in the middle of your path towards doing your best. And then you have to go get the ingredients. It might be more sleep. It might be a change in your diet. It might be more time with your hands in the soil. It might be the piano. It might be more time in community with your team. But you have to start to figure out. You have to taste your creation and be honest and go, oh, it needs a little more salt. I think rosemary would be good in this. I have to say no to this next project because it's not good for my recipe. Without fear of repercussion for having said no. That's the hard part, right? You have to know your recipe. You have to also know what it's probably not best to put in your recipe. Reverend Gail said this in a blog. Somewhere along the way, Reverend Gail said this. I'm sorry, Gail, that I don't remember when. She said, people come into your life for a moment, or for an event, for a bit of time, or forever. And part of the process is figuring out what. And then she said, while you're in that life is none of your business. That's between them and the universe. You have to look at your recipe. And if there are things or people or situations that are not right for your recipe right now, you have to be willing maybe just to put them on the shelf. Remember those things we put on the shelf in the beginning, those other ideas about doing our best? You can put things on your shelf. The Catholic priest taught me this. Father Justin said to me one day, you know, you don't have to take on the world all at once. The things that are really noisy, you can simply put them on the shelf. You're going to have to go back and take them down at some point, or they're going to grow green and be ugly monsters. But you don't have to deal with them all at once. You can take some things that are roadblocks between you and doing your best. You can set them on the shelf. And when you're ready, you can take them down to look at them. You have to know your recipe. And just like my mother's potato salad was different than my grandmother's. My mother's just had too much onion. Did I mention that, by the way? That was the problem. In my opinion, my mother liked her recipe, or she wouldn't have made it that way. She knew her recipe. You're already doing it. You're on the path. Bravo. Maybe you want to fly a little higher. Maybe you want to soar a little longer. If reincarnation is possible, when I come back, I would like to be an eagle. I know there are issues like being endangered species and all of that, but I want to know what it feels like to soar. I want to know what it feels like to take my wings and hold them out as far as they will go and trust that I'm going to soar. I don't think that eagles are going, he's a little higher than me. I don't think competition is part of that world. I think the eagle's just soaring. I think we have that potential, and I can be better at that. Know your recipe. You gotta celebrate the good stuff. You know those moments when you're like finish a situation, a moment, and you go, nailed it, got it right, did what I wanted to do. You gotta celebrate that. So in the midst of this last week, I'm the operations director for the Sun Valley Music Festival. A woman called me from Twin Falls. She's bringing up 50 of her friends from a senior center in Twin Falls. They do it every year, but she's new in leading this operation. Big bus. And she was worried about how they were all going to get back onto the bus after the concert because they're coming on Pops Night and there will be 9,000 or 10,000 people there. And I could hear the stress in her voice because I ended up talking to her. Lindsay had spoken to her, Sabrina had spoken to her, Max had spoken to her. None of them were available. I was talking to her. She's in my world now. And she said, I said, I can hear the fear in your voice. I can hear the worry. I'm going to see if in the next 5 minutes or so we can make that go away. We might not be able to, but I'm going to try. We talked about getting in. It was easy. And I said, would you do me a favor? When the concert is over, would you stay in your seats for 10 or 15 minutes? If someone needs to go down to the restroom and come back, they can. But would you stay in your seats? And would you give me your bus driver's phone number? And when the valet cars have cleared and enough of the people are off of the walkway in front of the pavilion, I'll call your bus driver and tell him to come on over. And then our team will come and get you. And we'll walk with your team out to the bus. Because I bet some of the people in your group are nervous that with that many people there, they might get lost. I get it. Me too. And there's nothing scarier than not being on turf that you know, especially if you have some mobility issues or you've lost your bus buddy. I think this might work. And I felt this sigh. And I said, are you going to sleep better tonight? She said, I am. And I hung up the phone. And before I went back to the other 100 things on my list, I spent a moment going, good. That was right. That was worth having something else not done. Because she's going to sleep better tonight. You got to celebrate the good stuff. So you're already doing it. Maybe you want to fly a little higher. Trust your team. Don't try too hard. Know your recipe. Celebrate the good stuff. Give yourself credit for it. It's not egotistical. It's being honest. We do good stuff. I love holding doors for people. I love it. People my age, people older, people that are younger. Younger people look at me like I'm crazy. And I say, sorry, I like holding doors. I love it. It's a chance for me to be of service. And it takes that much time. I was going in anyway, or going out. Here's my last of my 7 thoughts. Like the little lady in Twin Falls, don't be afraid. Remember in the beginning, I said that your best is more than enough. It's all that's needed. So are you going to stumble sometimes? Are you going to think you're giving it your best and it doesn't quite work out okay? Oh, well. As Reverend Gail said this weekend, human. We all are. We make mistakes. We can say sorry, and without going, I'm doing my best, we can acknowledge that we are a work in process. Perfection, avoid the word. It's hard to get away from. You know, this process is hard. This doing your best every moment, every day. But it's hard, not like physics. It's hard like not eating the entire container of ice cream in one sitting. It's that kind of hard. How do you do that? You make a commitment to the process. Maybe instead of taking the container out of the freezer and keeping it out, you put 2 scoops in a bowl and put it away. And then you tie yourself down to the chair so you don't go back to get 2 more scoops. There's a process that works. When the pavilion first opened, Itzhak Perlman came and played with the orchestra. And I was very fortunate to sit with a group of students who got to hear his rehearsal. And then he came down to the edge of the stage to talk to the kids. I've told this story before, but this little 13-year-old girl raised her hand. How do I know she's 13? She said, when you were 13, how long did you practice every day? And he said 3 hours. An hour of exercises, an hour of A2D drills, and an hour of whatever repertoire I was working on. And then he said this, and you could already feel it going, I was thinking you were going to say 30 minutes. He said, he said, this is important. If somebody asks you to practice longer than that, tell them that you'd rather learn to practice better. He used the word learn, implying that this was not easy, but that it was possible to practice better. Here's my last thought. Remember Bronwyn's question? What floats in your head? Haven't told her yet, but I have the answer. And it ties in to today sort of perfectly. What floats in my head, and I am working hard on it, and I'm better now than I've ever been about it. What floats in my head, and has since I was the perfect child, is, what if I'm not good enough? What if I let someone down? I get sweaty just saying the words, but I'm doing better because I'm working on it, because it's a process. There is not a cure. There is a process. Somewhere along the way in the week before this talk, I thought, what if I don't get my stuff together? What if I let everyone down? Well, we've made it to the end. So good or bad, it's happened. But that's my answer to Bronwyn. I'm sure she is hoping that I'm going to talk about something lofty that has guided me gracefully through my life. And maybe this has. Maybe the process of working on this is the thing that is taking me closer to the edge, that has allowed me to ask myself to soar higher, is an interest of letting go of the noisy things that are in the way. I am a dynamic individual, as you all are, no more, no less. I am blessed to do dynamic things in my life like you are. I want grandkids. I don't have kids, so it's kind of hard to get to the grandkids thing. But I have those that I call kids, and so I just rob from them. But we all have the things that we bring into this group to do together. Our recipe would not be as good if we weren't all in the stew together. Take any of us out, and we've changed the recipe. The work that we will continue to do, sometimes with more intent than others, sometimes more gracefully than others, will continue to allow us to fly higher. Can we just take a moment together and then, okay, now I've gone too long, but I didn't go 3 days and we don't have to serve a full lunch. Let's take a moment. In this moment, knowing, as Don Miguel Ruiz says, our lives are changing minute by minute, and our best is different minute by minute, moment by moment. In this very moment, right here and right now, I acknowledge for myself and for everyone else engaged that we are doing our best. I acknowledge that there are tools available for us to grow, to soar. I acknowledge that we have each other's backs and that the universe, just when needed, swoops in and gives us everything we need to know. We simply have to sit in the great big truck, look out the great big window, and look at the leaves. They're there whether we notice them or not. And with immense gratitude for the opportunities to be human, to stumble, to be caught, hopefully before we hit the ground, and to take another step. I acknowledge the power and the presence of the universe in our lives, and I acknowledge that with that presence, we indeed are mighty. And so it is. Somebody else might come up now and tell you that's a great time to give money or other things, or maybe it's me. Why don't I, Eric, are you coming back up, or do you want me to take this? It's up to you.
Well, I was going to.
Come on.
I'll share it with you.
No, please. I'll drink coffee.
I sat there. I just have to share this. I sat there and I was trying to articulate what I was experiencing when you were speaking.
Good luck.
Well, the first word that came to me was not terribly polysyllabic. It was, wow. And then I thought, well, maybe I can be a little bit more articulate. And I just want to thank you for being such a deep well of wisdom. I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I guess now I get to put my glasses on.
Yeah.
This is very tiny print. Let's see. It's time for the weekly affirmation. We did that. So now it's time to do. Oh, thank you. Good morning. Here I am again. That's what it says right here. I'd like to thank everyone who supports Light on the Mountains financially through automated donations or by volunteering, wealth, work, or wisdom. Your generosity is appreciated. Your generosity allows us to maintain this beautiful sanctuary and building and this place where we get to offer our Sunday service, workshops, and events. Contributions can be made online, in person, or by mail. For those who are watching online, go to our website, lightonthemountains.org, and click the donate button near the top of the page. For those of you who are here today, there's a donation box at the entrance, or share your generosities with Pass and Offering Basket. And those who have a yearly pledge, please put a purple donation card, which you all know which is, in the basket. Please feel free to hold your offering next to your heart and say together or aloud or to yourself our offering affirmation printed on the inside of the order of service. Please repeat with me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal, bless, and prosper. It is evidence of my faith, gratitude, and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly.
I think you're done.
Thank you very
I
much.
think that's good. I maybe said or sung enough words for the day. So as we're gathering the offering, I might offer this. Sophomore year in high school, piano recital. I was the last to play. I was perfect, remember? And I got lost in a Chopin nocturne. Totally lost. Didn't know what was next. And I knew that if I could get to the recap, that the theme from the beginning came back in an expanded way at the end. So I just improvised Chopin for a few minutes. And I was okay with that. My piano teacher was not. And I saw her face, which looked a little as though maybe I had killed Chopin. She didn't mean to scar me for life. She didn't. That moment opened the doors for me to become an improvisational musician. And so what I'd love to share with you in these final moments is, well, let's just call this a reflection of do your best on the piano. That was the soar higher part. This is the trust your group part. Trust your team. And know your recipe. And celebrate. And don't be afraid. With gratitude for all that you have brought to the room today, including these gifts, we celebrate the opportunities to connect. And we thank you. We're going to sing, and then Pamela will be available. If anyone would like some one-on-one time, you'll simply go through that arch and go to the first door on the left. And if there is a line, there are other practitioners in the room who will joyfully step in to spend some time with you. There are always delightful things to eat and drink in the social garage. And I could not, Gail, I'm sorry. And we look forward to some time there together. We're going to close by singing on page 16 in the songbook, Let Me Be the Light. And if you're comfortable standing, let's stand. If remaining seated is better for you, stay right where you are, page 16. And thank you. Let me be the light that calls us together. Let me be the light that brightens each day. Let me be the light that shows us tomorrow. Let me be the light. Let me be the light. Let me be the light that fills us all with love. Let me be the light that calls us together. Let me be the light that brightens each day. Let me be the light that shows us tomorrow. Let me be the light. Let me be the light. Let me be the light that fills us all with love.